Yo, what's up guys? What is going on everybody over on the Simply Viral channel? Welcome back to another video. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Today, we are jumping back into the world of Fortnite to talk about the Cube Island and where exactly it is headed for Fortnite Season 7. Now, I know what you guys are saying right away. Why are we talking about Fortnite Season 7? Season 6 just started. Well, guys, this Cube Island, the Fortnite Cube Island, Kevin the Cube's new home, it has got a big role in Season 7 here, along with the rest of Season 6, and we're going to be talking about what exactly is going on with it in this video. But before we go ahead and get into that, if you guys are brand new here to the channel, be sure to subscribe with your channel notifications turned on. That way, every single time we upload a new video here, YouTube will personally send you a message letting you know we've gone live with a new upload, so you can be the first person to watch, like, and comment on each and every Simply Viral video. Speaking of commenting, if you guys are already a part of that notification squad, let us know. Drop a comment down below saying I subscribed or hashtag notification squad for your chance to be featured in our daily video shout out where you guys get your name and your comment on screen for everyone else watching to see. And last but not least, if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, let us know by dropping a like rating on this. Slap that like button, it'd be much appreciated. Now without further ado, let's go ahead, let's jump in and let's talk about the Fortnite Cube Island and what its role is with Fortnite Season 7. So to start things off, the Fortnite Cube Island is definitely going to play a huge role in Season 7 of Fortnite Battle Royale. But in order to get to that point, we have to go a little bit back in time to Season 5 where the cube initially spawned. Obviously, we all remember the cube spawning in after all the lightning started hitting the cactuses or the cacti in Paradise Palms. Since then, Kevin the Cube, or since he's been dubbed Kevin the Cube, started rolling around the map, leaving different runes all over the ground in various places around the Fortnite Island. Obviously, it finally came to a stop and a halt inside of Loot Lake. As it tipped over into Loot Lake, it dissolved or seemingly dissolved into the lake, making Loot Lake a giant bounce pad for a little while before eventually, of course, then rising out of Loot Lake. Darkness rises, of course, the theme of Season 6, rising out of Loot Lake, carrying the middle island up with it and started floating in the sky with a weird, almost tornado-like vortex around it that sends you spiraling upwards, and also almost like a whirlpool in Loot Lake beneath it, which as of just a little bit ago, you can actually get sucked into and it'll spit you out as if you're going into a bounce pad. So that's initially how the Fortnite Cube Island came into play, but I'm sure you guys know about that. What has it got to do with Season 7? Well, here's the thing. The Fortnite Cube Island, Kevin's Island, has started to now move around the Fortnite map. I'm sure you guys have seen clips and images of this happening, and it seems like the island is going to start floating around to all of the different runes around the map. As you guys know, with the Season 6 map, we now have all of these massive rune areas where you can find chests and shadow stones, or as I like to call them, spooky snacks. You can find these all around the map. There's 7 of them, just like there were 7 runes before, and now the Fortnite Cube Island is actually floating around to all of these different rune areas and quote-unquote corrupting them, and it started to now begin to rise out of the map. As the Fortnite Island is moving above these runes, it almost sucks part of the runes up, or the ground surrounding these runes, into the sky, creating all sorts of floating land masses and making, just for gunplay and the verticality to be really funky and really awkward, really changing the pace of the game in those certain areas. So obviously, over the coming days and weeks, this is going to continue with all of the different rune areas around the map. The Fortnite Island, the Cube Island, is going to continue to float around the map and corrupt these different rune areas. But what's going to happen after that is done? Well, there's actually a couple of pretty interesting theories. The first of which actually has the community buzzing like crazy. People are actually speculating now that once the Cube Island has gone around to all of the different runes and, as I mentioned earlier, corrupted them by raising parts of them into the sky and leaving them there to float, that all of these corrupted areas that are now floating on the map are actually going to converse and all head towards Dusty Divot, where they will actually fill the divots in and there won't be a massive hole anymore. Now, this is a pretty crazy theory because, of course, we remember back when Dusty Depot was originally struck by the meteor, creating Dusty Divot. That obviously had the whole storyline with the Blockbuster skin coming out of like the weird, mysterious outer space container shipping thing that was in the center of the whole Dusty Divot like research lab area. That was its own huge storyline, and we saw the development of all the trees now growing in Dusty Divot, and slowly it's coming back to life after being struck by the meteor. And as I'm sure you guys are aware, not a whole lot has been going on fun with Dusty Divot in a little while. Of course, we got the little update with the whole Dusty Diner and whatnot, but as far as the divot itself goes, it's still filled with a ton of trees, some mushrooms, a couple of ponds, and the remains of the research lab area. But it's still a massive hole, a massive divot in the middle of the map. And people are beginning to wonder, well, what's going on here? We can't have this massive hole here forever. Eventually, it's gonna get filled in, right? Well, here is the perfect opportunity to start connecting the dots. If you have all these huge pieces of land floating in the sky that have been corrupted by the Cube Island, and they all suddenly go and float over to Dusty Divot, create a massive, cover for the divot and fill in the hole, you now have this massive, huge corrupted area in the center of the map. And say then the Fortnite Island goes over to the Dusty Divot, newly filled in Dusty Divot area full of corrupted runes that have been previously floating in the sky, and the cube marks its home there. Suddenly, all sorts of things can happen. Obviously, Dusty Divot, or the depot, is in the center of the Fortnite map, the dead center. So perhaps this is where maybe once the divot is filled in with all of these runes and corrupted areas, maybe a volcano rises out of that, or maybe Kevin the Cube explodes and something comes out of the cube. There's so many different possibilities for what can happen here if all of these runes were to eventually go over to Dusty Divot and actually fill in the divot, creating a new flat land, an entire new point of interest, in all honesty, that somehow connects with the Cube Island. And honestly, just freeballing it here, it would almost even make sense to have all of these 7 runes and all these different corrupted areas float over to Dusty Divot and almost create a crust, in a sense, a quote-unquote crust, leaving one center space available where Kevin the Cube and the Cube Island could actually float down and fill in, I guess, the last piece of the puzzle, if you will. And perhaps if that were to happen, then that obviously spark some huge chain of events, whether it's the the corruption of the entire map, or maybe it's the spark of the life of a volcano coming into the center of the map. Like I said, it being in the dead center of the map, if this were to be a thing, and if this is where the cube is headed for the remainder of Season 6, it's going to change things massively for Season 7 here. And honestly, guys, with tying this into Season 7, I expect to see the development of the Cube Island and all these different runes and corrupted areas to continue over the span of Season 6. If you guys have been paying close attention to the Cube Island movements, they're not super fast, and it's floating pretty slowly towards the different rune areas and these different corrupted areas. So it's going to take a decent amount of time to cover all 7 runes and corrupt all 7 rune areas. And by the time that happens, we're going to be a decent way through Season 6, leaving not a whole lot of time to go until Season 7. And obviously, the cube is going to change the map in some major way again throughout Season 6, obviously sparking the lead up to Season 7, if not the massive changes for Season 7 itself. Perhaps our end of the Season 6 event is going to have to do with the cube creating its final corruption zone, or expanding, or blowing up, or whatever it may be. We don't know yet, but chances are it could be happening here at the end of Season 6 to start Season 7. So yeah, off the top, it might seem a little crazy that we're talking about Season 7 of Fortnite Battle Royale already when Season 6 is only about 2 weeks old right now, but trust me guys when I say it's all coming together. We're looking at the big picture here. It's all going to come full circle. The cube definitely has to do with the Season 6 storyline. Of course, it's the biggest part, and it's definitely going to influence Season 7 a lot. Obviously, as more time progresses and as we get further into Season 6 here, we're going to be seeing more things happen with the Cube Island, with these different corrupted areas and runes, and there's going to be more theories and more connections made over the course of that time. But with that being said, obviously, we're only a couple of days into Season 6 here, and with the Cube Island already making huge changes to the map, and it's already traveling around the map, creating all sorts of different gameplay styles and mechanics to be used throughout the map, and affecting these runes and corrupted areas in the way that it is already. Only a few days into Season 6, you can definitely tell that a lot is going to be happening this season in terms of map updates and little mini events, if you will, like this. The Cube Island is going to be moving all around throughout the entire season, and I'm sure it's going to accidentally, quote unquote, accidentally causing some other things to arise as well. Of course, the whole season theme for Season 6 is Darkness Rises, so I feel like the more darkness that we can have, strewn about the Fortnite Island and the Fortnite world, the better for the official storyline and the progression of that. And with that, guys, that is gonna wrap up today's video. Of course, like I said, it's crazy that we're already talking about Fortnite Season 7, but the Cube Island is going to have a major role in Season 7's development and the overall storyline going forward. That is gonna do it for today, though. Thank you so much for tuning in. We seriously appreciate it. Until next time, guys, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and we will see you on the battle bus. Peace out.